Have you ever felt completely off your path? Like you've messed up, slipped back into old habits, and now it feels utterly hopeless to even try getting back on your feet? We are taught if we do bad, we must punish ourselves to get better. But what if that guilt is exactly what's keeping you stuck? Today we're talking about why you are never truly off the path, and how the greatest redemption arcs prove that no one is beyond saving, and how to finally break the toxic cycle of self-punishment. And hi, if you're new here, I'm Cahir. I'm here to take you one step closer to self love. We're conditioned from birth to believe in a transactional existence: do good, get a reward; do bad, face relentless punishment. In my case, it was mostly just getting yelled at, or mostly punishment, not a lot of rewards. You could see in our school system, you get detention if you misbehave. And in my school, there was something called, in middle school, there's coral cash, because we had like a fish themed school, or at least that year. Yeah. And it's like, oh, if you use your, if you have good behavior, you could use your coral cash for rewards. But if you misbehave, we're going to take that cash away. And if you're like me, coming from emotional neglect or CPTSD or disorganized attachment style, which I found out, whoops, where it almost seems like it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to get punished. That really sucks. But I think most of us have some kind of conditioning. This is just how society works. Then we become our own worst wardens, berating ourselves when we feel we have lost our way. Something I've dealt with for years, guys. I know I've made maybe a few videos about this, but this is the core thing I want to get to. One of the things that robbed me most of my joy was this self-punishment, because I believed in some way it would serve me. And even to this day, I'm still working on it. That voice comes up like, oh, you're off the path. Oh, you fucked up. See, I'm not saying that, I'm this guru. I'm right in it with you guys. I'm just better than who I was 5 or 6 years ago. I want to talk to my 25-year-old self. Because I just thought this is just how life is. You make a mistake, you berate yourself to submission, and then when you grovel enough, okay, then that's when you could, get back to living. The thing is, I wouldn't even take any action to solve the problem. My response is just to grovel, to make myself feel bad, and not even fix the problem. Like, oh, the endless cycle, right? Right? This ego sells us a lie. If I am mean enough to myself, I will eventually fix myself. I'll fix this behavior. But you can just tell what I talked about. It's just endless loop of suffering. The reality is, guys, guilt breeds more guilt. You act out of guilt, you feel guiltier, and then the destructive cycle continues. And now this video is just a reminder. You can choose again. And look in our collective consciousness, these two TV shows that are on right now, the new seasons of Invincible and The Boys, how they show us that redemption is possible. We look at Omni-Man, who we see in like the first season. He commits atrocities, killing the Guardians of the Globe, what is like the Justice League of that universe. And at the end, he destroys Chicago and kills a bunch of innocent people, which affected me deeply because, I'm from the suburbs of Chicago. And we could see the show asks us, how can someone like that ever be redeemed? Really, if you watch season 1, you're like, man, this guy is just a villain. Then later, we understand where he comes from. That he was raised to be this ruthless killer. Like even his parents, like when you turn 18, you're just beat senselessly by your own parents on Viltrum. Being indoctrinated, all. If you're Viltrumite, you're superior to everyone else. You have to make order out of chaos. Also, understanding he's coming from a survival situation. Imagine if your race was almost completely wiped out. There's only a handful of you left. how that pushed you to extremes. Now, this is not to condone anything he did. What he did was awful, but I understand the conditioning behind it. What he thought what he was doing was right. And the thing is, he let that guilt eat at him, and it got so bad that he was about to let himself be consumed by a black hole. But then, if he would have done that, he wouldn't have even had the attempt to redeem himself by fighting the evil Viltrumites left. He had the opportunity to get consumed by that black hole. But when he saw an opportunity to help others, he took it. I know this is just a very extreme example because, morally speaking, I don't know how we could, justify because what he did was awful on Earth. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna state that again. But because he gave himself a second chance, he became a vital asset against the Viltrumite Empire. And with the boys, we see A-Train. He starts out this selfish, careless character that kills Huey's girlfriend in the beginning. And to be honest, guys, I was like, man, how can this character ever be redeemed? He's way too much of an asshole. There's that moment, I think, in season 3 when it seemed like, oh, maybe he'll help the boys, but then he doesn't. And then he dies. And I was like, man, I actually said, I was like, good riddance. It's only when he actually literally gets a change of heart that's when his redemption arc begins. And there's that great scene where he saves MM, not to any fanfare, but just because it was the right thing to do. And he had this feeling in his heart, man, I can be a true hero. And he chooses that, right? He could have looked at all the crappy things he did in the past. He compromised on his morals. He killed Robin. Probably other crazy stuff that we don't even know. And he could have looked at himself just like a piece of shit, not be able to redeem himself. But he chose redemption. The reason I'm bringing all this up is because I'm betting you haven't done anything nearly as egregious as these fictional characters. If they can rewrite their narrative and choose grace, so can you. And the cool thing, I'm kind of baiting and switching here, because in the Course perspective, there's actually no such thing as traditional redemption, because you were never condemned in the first place. Right? We were the only ones condemning ourselves, as the Course teaches, I crucify only myself. We were holding the gavel, we were judging ourselves, we were condemning ourselves. We chose self-punishment because we falsely believed it served us and to make us right. A reminder, the only way to step off the hamster wheel of guilt is through profound grace and self-forgiveness. A love beyond human understanding. So I bet most humans would not forgive Omni-Man or A-Train, but it takes a love beyond human understanding to give ourselves that grace, to give ourselves that forgiveness. To ground this with A Course in Miracles, you who condemn yourself and by condemnation would despair, look upon this and be glad. The Holy Spirit sees no sin in you. Reminder, guys, to stop looking at yourselves through the eyes of guilt and shame, and to look at yourself through the eyes of the Holy Spirit with unconditional love and forgiveness. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. May the Holy Spirit light up your path wherever it takes you. Take care.